Wake up in the morning.
Wake up, Atlanta. It's time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we? Yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boy howdy, welcome back to another exciting morning radio show here today. Ladies and germs, this is Coffee Talk, powered by Spotify. I know I lied, everybody, because I said I wasn't going to be wearing muscle shirts so much on the shows, but I got to today because, first and foremost, good morning, everyone. I'm starting hot because I got into the studio and a lot of producers like, oh, here come Kennedy with the muscle shirts again. Let me tell you something. First of all, I look good, first and foremost. And I'm really excited because yesterday and a little bit of today, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten up to 75 degrees outside. Let me tell you something. It has been I've been very humbled about it because when there's a sunshine, and yesterday it was partly cloudy, the sun kind of creeped out, but it was, a lot of, suns was coming out and then it was just kind of dipping in and out. 75-degree weather is here. I drove from the offices to the gym yesterday, top down, blasting music because it just felt that good. We have the house is on AC cooling in the house because it got really warm yesterday. I'm really excited for that because I do like warm weather. I don't like super duper hot weather because it gets hot time. I know since we had a very cold winter and snowy winter, I think we're going to have a really extraordinary hot season when summer comes back around. So I do say to a lot of people, welcome. That's why I'm wearing the muscle shirts because it just feels good today. Good morning, and I look good too. So I gotta flex a little bit. I'm looking at my monitor here, and I look pretty good. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting Coffee Talk episode. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone that is tuned in to our morning show. A lot of people love the show. A lot of people love it. They dig it. Our stories, our sports talk, our trending topic news. Simone is doing her thing. So thank you guys in advance. You guys have made this show possible. Spotify has made this thing possible. I'm very happy about that as well. Just one of those things that we really get into it and we really have a grand time. As we are getting ready to wrap up the week, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that everyone has, first of all, we hope that everyone has had an exciting week. It's been a very interesting week for me when it comes down to it. It's been one of those weeks that I've been very excited about. We announced of course, Nyla Monroe, shout out to her. Her album is set to release next Tuesday, the 24th. Super excited for that. I'm so happy about that. I'm so humbled about it. I'm really ready for it, simply because it's just one of those things that I just get really excited for when it comes down to music. And now Nyla, she's getting ready for her first R&B debut. We were up in the studio recording that album, and that's just something that we had just kind of a like a surprise, that was just kind of like a surprise for everyone as well. So very excited for that as well. Now I want to talk about just a couple of things here to open the show. It is one of those things where I'll open the show and then of course Simone and Rachel and Sarah will be on the show, and then of course I'll come back because I'm going to talk about the trending topics because Emma Johnson is out today. She's working on another project for us, so she won't be doing our topic story for top of the morning. But really excited for this one. Of course, the Sonic movies have found their Amy Rose. I'm very excited about this because whether you like it or not, of course, the Sonic video game movies have been very exciting when it comes down to it. It's just one of those things that I get very excited for because, video game movies, they're doing it. The Super Mario movie is getting ready to come out April 1st. I gotta find time because April is going to be a very interesting month for me when it comes down to it. it's going to be a good month. It's going to be a busy month, right? Because we're podcasting, and of course I'm moving at the end of the month. Very excited for that because I'm buying new things for the new place, and getting ready for that new venture. So that's going to be quite exciting. But Kristen Bell will be playing Amy Rose. She will be playing Amy in Sonic 4. Let me tell you, Paramount in Illumination, they've got something. The first Mario movie was a hit. It was a banger. It was a smasher. It was fantastic, right? All the Sonic movies, I think they've been pretty decent. My favorite Sonic movie, though, has got to be Sonic. Well, Sonic 3 was pretty good for the most part. Keanu Reeves playing Shadow and the whole backstory there was pretty good. I do like it how the original voice actress, Colleen McLachlan. I probably butchered her last name. She's playing Tails, and she plays the video game version of Tails too. So I'm glad that once she's played Tails in the video game, she's crossing over to cinematic. But Kristen Bell will be playing Amy. I can't wait to see how she sounds. Kristen Bell's been in a lot of amazing projects, right? We all know Kristen Bell, so I can't wait to see what she's gonna do with a video game character, how she's gonna embody that character. Of course, Sonic 4 is getting ready to be centric more of Metal Sonic. Very cool. As you guys know, I am a Sonic fan. I grew up watching Sonic TV shows and playing the Sonic video game, so that's my childhood. So of course, I can't wait to take a look at that when it gets ready to come out shortly here. I can't wait to see what happens in Sonic 4. All the movies, and I say this to a lot of people. If you do have Paramount, watch all the Sonic movies. You're gonna like it. It's decent. It's really good for the most part. A lot of award winnings when it comes down to it. And I can't wait to see it. Again, Mario movies are getting ready to come out, and it's just the second Mario movie is getting ready to hit theaters. And I might have to go by myself, hope an audience to go see that movie, because I went to theaters to see the first one because I'm also a Mario guy, right? I'm a Mario fan. So I really dabble into it. I look forward to see what happens when it comes down to, the the intrigueness of the Mario movies and see what happens when it comes down to it. I look forward to it. I look forward to a lot of great things when it comes down to it, for sure. I look forward to the Sonic movies and Sonic 4, and we're gonna get ready for that Mario 2 movie. So that's gonna be really cool when it comes down to it. Very happy about it. So I'm gonna switch gears to Simone, but I'll be back, guys, because I'm going to talk about the trending topic for the show, and then I'll be back again to wrap up this podcast. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Wake up, y'all!
It is now time for the front page news of the day on Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify.
Yeah!
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. During a recent appearance on the Tamron Hall show, Fetty Wap opened up about continuing his education and more. Last month, Fetty Wap was released from prison after serving time for federal drug charges. While the rapper was surely eager to get out, he didn't let his stint behind bars go to waste. He revealed that he got his GED and even took some HVAC courses to make sure he had options. I got my GED. I took a few HVAC courses, he said, as seen in a clip shared by the Shade Room. Oh yeah, I do a few things. Fetty Wap went on to share that some of the fellow inmates he met influenced him to try something new. You meet a lot of people that they had legitimate businesses and making good amount of money, he explained. So I'm like, well, he making like rapper money. I'ma try that out. When asked whether or not he expected to get back to his career as it was upon his release, he said, no. Education wasn't the only thing Fetty Wap was focused on during his prison stay, however. In an interview with Vibe published shortly after he got out, he revealed that he gained 85 pounds while he was incarcerated. He opened up about the discipline it took to continue his fitness routine behind bars, noting how his children are his motivation. Fetty Wap is reportedly a father of 6. I like the feeling of the after effect of working out, he told the outlet. It's more of an I did something. I used to always tell myself, if I could just take an hour out of my day just for self-care. It's a discipline routine. I went to prison like 140 slobs. I came home at like 225. So it was a discipline for me to get there. I had it in my head like I want to see what I look like this. Next on our front page, Baby Keem is going to be meeting up with some lucky fans across a handful cities in the US for some album signings post Kaino's release. Baby Keem is making this album rollout one to remember by announcing some album signings. The mini tour will start at 400 PT in Los Angeles at Licorice Pizza and will run until February 26th. That last day will begin at 302 ET in Boston at Newberry Comics. Overall, there are 5 album signings, with the second taking place at 2:00 p.m. at Zia Records in Las Vegas on February 21st. Then on the 23rd, Keem will be at Rough Trade in New York starting at 12:00 p.m. After that, Baltimore's The Soundgarden will welcome the Melodic Blue MC on February 24th at 3:00 p.m. These signings should draw some massive crowds, as Baby Keem's return to rap has been much anticipated. It's been nearly 5 full years since his debut album, and a long half-decade at that. Since dropping a subsequent deluxe in 2022, he's largely remained radio silent. He did have a pair of big singles in 2023 with his Fred Again, Leave Me Alone collab that nabbed him a Grammy nomination at the 67th award show. The same goes for the Kendrick Lamar effort, The Hillbillies, which earned him one at the 66th Grammys. But after that, it felt like fans were given nothing more than album title rumors. But this week, the time comes for that drought to end. Kaino releases on Friday, February 20th. It's already been hyped up as a future album of the year contender, and for good reason. The amount of talent and still untapped potential displayed on the Melodic Blue was evident. Kaino will contain 12 tracks and 4 features from Chea Crew, Momo Boyd, 2 Hort, and Kendrick Lamar. It's shaping up to be a really personal and introspective listening experience based on all of the teasers in the Boomin' episodes. It was a 3-part docuseries released to YouTube, which gave fans a look at the creative process behind the album. On top of this album signing trek, Keem also announced an accompanying tour, as well as a streamable listening party live from LA. It begins tonight at 8 p.m. PST and can be viewed on his YouTube channel.
Turn it up. They shoot. They score. Top of the hour sports talk on Coffee Talk. Presented by Spotify.
We back.
We don't give a fuck.
Good morning, everyone. Here's the latest in sports. Okay, so here's something to chew on. The NBA has 30 teams, but as of right now, nearly a third of them are actively trying to lose games. That's not just bad basketball, it's bad business.
That's such a wild stat when you think about it. I mean, how did we even get to a point where losing on purpose is considered a viable strategy?
It's all about the draft lottery system. The way it's set up now, the teams with the worst records have the best odds of landing the top picks. So if you're not good enough to make the playoffs, the next best thing is to be as bad as possible. It's a system that basically rewards failure.
And that's the heart of the issue, isn't it? The incentives are completely backwards. Instead of encouraging teams to compete, the current system pushes them to tank. But this new proposal to flip the incentives after the All-Star break, it could really shake things up.
Absolutely. The idea is to reward teams for winning games in the second half of the season rather than losing them. So instead of tanking for better lottery odds, teams would actually have to compete to improve their chances. It's a complete 180 from the current system.
And it's such a simple concept. but it could have a huge impact. Imagine a team like the Pacers or the Wizards actually playing their stars down the stretch because it helps their draft odds. That would make the games so much more engaging for fans.
Exactly. And it's not just about the fans either. It's about the players, the coaches, and even the communities that rely on these teams. When a team is tanking, it's not just the games that suffer, it's the entire ecosystem around the team.
That's such a good point. Local businesses, bars, restaurants, they all take a hit when the team isn't competitive. And let's not forget about the players. How do you think it feels for them to be told, hey, we're not trying to win right now?
Oh, it's got to be demoralising. These are some of the most competitive people on the planet. They didn't get to the NBA by being okay with losing. So when a team decides to tank, it's not just the fans who lose interest, it's the players too.
And that's why this proposal is so intriguing. It's not just about fixing the tanking problem, it's about creating a better product overall. But of course, there are some challenges to consider.
For sure, one of the biggest concerns is injuries. What happens if a team's star player gets hurt after the All-Star break? Under this system, they'd lose out on lottery positioning because they can't win as many games. That seems a bit unfair, doesn't it?
It does, but at the same time, isn't that kind of the point? The idea is to reward teams for competing, not for being bad. If a team can't win because of injuries, that's unfortunate, but it's part of the game.
That's true, and let's be honest, the current system isn't exactly fair either. Teams are already gaming it by sitting healthy players or shutting down stars for the season. This proposal might not be perfect, but it's a step in the right direction.
Totally. And I think the fact that so many coaches, scouts, and executives are in favor of this idea says a lot. They're the ones who are in the trenches, dealing with the day-to-day realities of the league. If they think this could work, it's worth exploring.
Agreed. And it's not just about the league's image or the quality of the games, it's also about the fans. Think about a team like the Charlotte Hornets. Under the current system, if they make a strong second half push and still miss the playoffs, they're stuck with a late lottery pick. But under this new system, they'd be rewarded for their effort with better lottery odds.
That's huge for keeping fans engaged. And it's not just the fans either. It's the entire community. Local businesses, bars, restaurants, they all benefit when the team is competitive and people are excited to watch games. When a team is tanking, that excitement disappears and it hurts everyone.
That's such an important point. It's easy to forget how much of an impact sports teams have on their local economies. When a team is actively trying to lose, it's not just the fans who suffer, it's the entire community. This proposal could help change that by making every game matter, at least to some extent.
But there are still some valid concerns. Like, what happens if a team star player gets injured? Under this system, that team could lose out on lottery positioning because they're not able to win as many games. That seems a bit unfair, doesn't it?
It does, but isn't that kind of the point? The idea is to reward teams for competing, not for being bad. If a team loses its star player and can't win games, that's unfortunate, but it's also part of the game. Injuries happen. The question is, do we want to continue rewarding teams for losing, or do we want to create a system that encourages them to try their best no matter what?
That's true. And it's not like the current system is perfect either. In fact, it's deeply flawed. Teams are already gaming the system by sitting healthy players or shutting down stars for the season. This proposal might not be perfect, but it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And I think the fact that so many coaches, scouts and executives are in favour of this idea says a lot. They're the ones who are in the trenches dealing with the day-to-day realities of the league. If they think this could work, it's worth exploring.
Agreed. But let's talk about the logistics for a second. If the league were to implement this, when should the switch happen? Should it be at the All-Star break, the trade deadline, or some other point in the season?
That's a tough one. The All-Star break seems like the most logical choice because it's a natural midpoint in the season. But not every team plays the same number of games before the break, so the league would have to adjust the schedule to make it fair. The trade deadline is another option, but that might be too late in the season to have a meaningful impact.
Yeah, and then there's the option of tying it to a specific number of games. Like, once every team has played 50 games, the switch happens. That could work, but it might be harder for fans to keep track of. The All-Star break is such a clear dividing line, and it already has a lot of attention on it, so it seems like the best choice to me.
I agree, and honestly, the details can be worked out later. The important thing is that the league is finally acknowledging the problem and looking for solutions. Tanking has been an issue for years, and it's only gotten worse. If this proposal can help fix it even a little bit, it's worth considering.
Definitely. And I think the idea of rewarding wins instead of losses is so simple, yet so powerful. It flips the script and forces teams to think differently about how they approach the season. It's not just about getting the best draft pick anymore. It's about building a winning culture and keeping fans engaged.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, creating the best product possible. The NBA is a business, and its success depends on people wanting to watch games. If the league can make the product better by incentivizing teams to compete, that's a win for everyone.
It really is. And, this whole discussion reminds me of the relegation system in European soccer. Obviously, that's not going to happen in the NBA, but the principle is the same. Teams should be focused on winning, not losing. That's what makes sports exciting.
Totally. And while relegation might not be feasible in the NBA, this proposal is a step in that direction. It's about creating a system that encourages competition and rewards effort. It's not perfect, but it's a start.
And sometimes that's all you need, a starting point. The league can tweak the system as needed, but the important thing is to take that first step. Tanking has been a black mark on the NBA for too long. It's time to do something about it.
Couldn't agree more. Let's hope the league takes this seriously and starts making changes. The fans deserve it, the players deserve it, and honestly, the game itself deserves it.
Absolutely. Here's to a brighter, more competitive future for the NBA.
Wake up! Get up! We starting the day!
Let's get into it. Our top story of the day on Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify.
Turn it up! Let's go.
All right, folks, I got a great top story for you. New technologies tested at the Deaf Olympics in Tokyo are creating new ways of experience the atmosphere at sporting events. For fans of live sport, the experience is as much about the atmosphere, the sights, smells, and sounds as the drama unfolding in front of them. Think about the crack of a bat, the blast of a whistle, thump of a ball, and the roar of the crowd. Would there be something missing without them? At the Deaf Olympics in Tokyo in November 2025, sound has been reimagined to ensure no one misses out. Filming recently for BBC Tech Explorer, I learned that at the Deaf Olympics, sound doesn't have to just be something you hear. It can be something you see, something you feel, sometimes something you hold. For more than a century, the Deaf Olympics has been the pinnacle of elite competition for deaf athletes. Now, It is also one of the world's most important testing grounds for inclusive technology, where engineers, designers, and deaf users collaborate to redefine how sport is experienced. From on-screen onomatopoeia to AI-powered announcements and vibrations delivered into the audience, Tokyo's Deaf Olympics offers a glimpse of a future where sound no longer belongs only to those who can hear, seeing sound at the tennis table. Sometimes the simplest technologies are the most powerful. Inside the table tennis arena, I felt the electricity in the atmosphere as fans rallied behind Japan, a global powerhouse in the sport. But instead of focusing on the ball's rhythmic rally, deaf spectators are invited to look up. Above the court, giant animated graphics flash across a screen, bold Japanese onomatopoeic words that mirror the rhythm of play. Each strike is matched with expressive characters that visually represent sound effects, the impact of the ball, the speed of the rally, the power of a smash, sound translated into language you can see. Onomatopoeia, words that imitate sounds, plays a unique role in Japanese culture, where visual sound expressions are widely used in manga and media. At the Deaf Olympics, that cultural familiarity becomes an accessibility tool. For some fans, especially newcomers to the sport, the system provides instant context. How fast the rally is, when a point is decisive, when momentum shifts. Itomaki of Japan's Deaf Table Tennis Association has seen technology evolve over the years. I used to be a table tennis player, so I prefer to watch the matches themselves, he says. But for people who don't play or who are deaf, this helps them understand better. Being able to hold an event like this now, it moves me deeply. Onomatopoeia beyond sport. With 19 Deaf Olympics venues both in and around Tokyo, thousands of deaf visitors from around the world have helped to turn the city into a living laboratory for accessible urban technology. Station hopping between venues, I tested Toppin's transparent sound to text translation screens. Deployed in 19 Toei Metro stations, these make travel communication easy for deaf and hearing visitors, whether they speak Japanese or not. At Deaf Olympic Square, a central hub for athletes and fans, I was struck by an AI-powered transport display developed by technology giant Fujitsu. Already piloted in major stations by Japan Rail, it listens for platform announcements, approaching trains, warning buzzers, and background music. The cacophony of environmental noise is categorized and converted into text and sign language. Once again, onomatopoeia plays a role. Certain sounds are represented visually to convey urgency, movement, or emotion, helping users understand not just what is happening, but how it feels. Importantly, this device was created with the deaf community, specifically children from Kawasaki Municipal School for the Deaf. In Japan, many students use trains every day, says Tatsuya Honda from Fujitsu's Converging Technologies Laboratory. We designed this device with deaf students to be fun, safe, and useful. I experienced the device alongside Finnish deaf Olympian Sara-Elise Ruokanen, who said it was important deaf people were involved in the design because we know best what we need. At Tokyo Budokan, home of the deaf judo, spectators wore vibration devices developed by Hapbeat, a company originally known for immersive music technology. As judo fighters grip, shuffle, and throw, every movement is captured by microphones and sensors in the mat. Footwork produces light vibrations. Collisions produce stronger ones. A full throw lands as a deep, unmistakable sensation to the chest. Fans do not simply watch a match, they feel it. Shuffling feet felt like a lighter vibration, while collisions were stronger, says deaf judo fan Eri Terada from Japan. When someone was thrown, it was a heavy thud. Each one was different. I thought, wow, this is amazing. It's so easy to understand.
As fervent as its in-game rivalries can get, the fighting game community is a diverse space that frequently bands together to support members in their time of need. Upon hearing the news that a longtime member, Ludovic Mbok, had been taken in by ICE, players from across the globe quickly banded together. We showed a fierce condemnation for the government agency and support for our comrade in fisticuffs. Based out of Maryland, Ludovic has been known in the fighting game community since the era of competitive Street Fighter IV. While his primary focus is on Street Fighter VI, he also plays competitively in Tekken, the King of Fighters, and Melty Blood, Type Lumina. Ludovic was sponsored by the Hyro Group, an esports community organization based out of the DMV area. Lud has been in the FGC for as long as I can remember, dating back to the Street Fighter IV days. He was a constant presence at both large events and locals. He's always been a friendly face in the community, always down to chat and play with folks. He forged some real tight bonds within the community, never heard a bad word about him. His friends and teammates were in shock to hear that he was in ICE custody. I found out yesterday around 5 p.m. EST via Discord. Word was starting to spread via Discords for the local FGC. My friends would not take this sitting down and immediately leapt into action. We set up a GoFundMe to help Ludovic retain legal representation. At the time of writing, the GoFundMe has raised over $55,000. An update was posted on 10 a.m. ET on February 19th detailing the current situation. A habeas corpus petition was filed on 2/19 and a judge signed it, meaning the court is now requiring the government to justify Ludovic's detention. In addition, a G28 form was submitted, so his lawyers will be officially notified of any movement on his case. On Thursday, we learned that Sony Interactive Entertainment is shutting down Bluepoint Games, which had not released a game in over 5 years. Bluepoint made a name for itself with remakes of PlayStation classics like Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls, but as Bloomberg reports, the studio worked on a live service God of War game after being acquired in 2021. That was cancelled by Sony in early 2025. And with no new projects greenlit about a year later, the studio will shut down. While Bluepoint may just look like yet another victim of the video game industry's recent flurry of layoffs, studio closures, and live service game failures, the closure is also emblematic of the biggest problems PlayStation has faced throughout the PS5 generation. This is a generation where Sony hasn't done a good job of managing and shepherding its most beloved franchises, has released fewer games due to bloated development timelines. Bluepoint ultimately fell victim to some of the biggest mistakes that PlayStation has made throughout the PS5 era. While PlayStation looks to course correct and continue on, a studio full of talented developers who made great games no longer exists because they spent years chasing a white whale of a live service game that the studio was not equipped to make. From Ghost of Yotei to Marvel's Spider-Man 2, first-party PlayStation developers have released plenty of fantastic games for PS5. Despite that, game launches have felt infrequent and some franchises lie oddly dormant. This is a result of the elongated development times that the entire video game industry currently faces. Celebrated studios like Naughty Dog, Media Molecule, and Sony Bend didn't release a fully original PS5 game in the system's first 5 years on the market. Bluepoint was there at the PS5's launch with the impressive Demon's Souls remake, but had been dormant in subsequent years as it worked on the live service God of War game. That made its cancellation all the more brutal, as the Bluepoint team had invested years in a project that would now never see the light of day. Meanwhile, franchises like Infamous, Little Big Planet, Uncharted, Days Gone, and Killzone have completely fallen to the wayside with no studios to support them. One would think a remake-focused studio would be a great way to keep older franchises warm as their creators cook up something new. At the time of its acquisition, I assumed Bluepoint was primed to do just that for Sony. Instead, the developers were put to work on a live service spin-off of God of War. We know from an IGN interview around the time of the acquisition that Bluepoint was interested in making games with more original content. Bluepoint president Marco Thrush declared at the time, "We have that original game development mindset in our hearts, and that's what we're now finally ready with the support of Sony to push forward and show what we can do and show what PlayStation can do."
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. Again, guys, stay tuned because we're going to have many, many more topics for the remaining of the week. And of course, me and Evelyn, we're going to be back to talk more of what happened was on, what happened was podcast coming back. I know we kind of missed this week because we've been filming, she's been filming, and we just couldn't get the schedule right. But when we be back, we'll be back for sure to give you guys another exciting episode here on Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so very much. We'll catch y'all in the tomorrow's episode. Just have a great rest of your day. Get that coffee in, get your day started, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on tomorrow's episode. Until then, I've been one of your hosts, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Peace, love, and respect from our entire cast and crew. Have a great day, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
We bringin' good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.